Today I fucked up by blowing my nose too hard, opening the elevators from the shinning, and having to get my nose cauterized. I woke up today and it was like any other day, so I thought. As I disembark from the dream train and stumble into the bathroom to deal with my morning routine, I notice my nose felt full. I got excited because who doesn't like breaching the booger dam and firing boogers out like a rail gun? I blew gloriously and felt the sweet release of said booger dam. It was like buckshot into a tissue. As soon as I did this, I knew something was amiss. I got that odd feeling you get with a bloody nose. Dripping but not quite snot, it was more fluid. I touched my nose with the tissue and realized it was soaked. We're not talking little drips of blood but full on red as can be. I grab a tissue and move the old one to apply the fresh sponge. Immediately it was pouring a rain of blood in my sink. As I hold a new tissue, I start to realize I can't breathe and my throat is getting full. Spit in the sink and a golf ball-sized glob of coagulated spit blood hits the sink like one of those sticky hands you get from the dollar machines. I went to the hospital and spent an hour with a close-pin device on my nose until a doctor could see me. He takes his nose scope and tells me I have a busted vein and we are going to cauterize it. I'm like, as in burn the inside of my nose to sear the vein closed? He walks in with a stick and tells me to hold his light. I hold it and he goes spelunking, poking around, and it immediately starts to burn like I poured hot sauce in my nose. Now I can't blow my nose for 3 weeks and it's cemented shut from dried blood. I'm uncomfortable. Too long didn't read. I blew my nose too hard and had to get a doctor to cauterize the wound. My bathroom now looks like a murder scene. Edit 1. Alright. I ate some 300,000 plus Scoville hot sauce because I'm a fanatic. I also had a few beers because why not? I'm hoping my cauterize doesn't loosen and unleash a Red Sea ride of hell. If I die from exsanguination, I will post from beyond the grave. Stay frosty, my friends. Fun story, when my brother was 13-14 he had the same thing happen. The thing is, he got his terms mixed up, most likely because he had been doing some soldering in tech class. So at our parents' fancy dinner party later that week, he confidently declared that the doctor sodomized his nose. The shinning. No TV and no beer make Homer go something something. I did that when I was about 10 years old. We moved from the East Coast to the West Coast US and I was not used to no humidity and my nose was so dry, so totally picked it a lot and got some bloody noses. One day I just bent over to clean my room in the morning and it started bleeding, but it didn't stop this time. Started freaking out, also choked up a bloody clot about the size of a tomato slice, freaked out more and started crying. Crying equals pressure, started crying blood tears like a friggin' horror movie. My mom is freaking out, I'm freaking out, my brother is yelling at us to be quiet, he can't hear the TV. Mom calls 911, they're out of ambulances, so send the fireman. Me, 10 years old in a ratty nightgown, immediately recognize hot men. Stop crying. All the blood immediately stops. My mom embarrassed, also because attractive fireman, also in ratty bathrobe, starts showing all the bloody tissues and the clot, trying to convince them it happened. He offered to drive me to the ER, but since it stopped, not necessary. Also got my vein cauterized. Ended my childhood habit of nose picking. Started 15 plus years of family jokes every time we see a fire truck. Oh, someone's got a bloody nose. Laughter. I feel your pain. My mom is freaking out, I'm freaking out, my brother is yelling at us to be quiet, he can't hear the TV. Brothers are the best. My nose bleeds like this all the time and it's so annoying. It's literally the consistency of water and it pours out in a stream, not drops. It really does make the bathroom look like a murder scene and it's even more annoying when it happens in the middle of the night. This happened to my friend on the bus on a school trip. He says, anyone got anything to help stop the bleeding? And me and about 5 other girls all look at each other and go, well yeah. Every woman's got something like that on hand at all times, my friend. And that's the story of the day. My friend stuck tampons up his nose to stop his chronic, murder scene nosebleed. I'm prone to frequent nosebleeds, capillaries too close to the surface, sometimes minor, sometimes not. The worst resulted in chemical cauterization, what you had done. It started one morning, and I caulked as I usually do, and waited. I had a meeting, mercifully working from home that day, and went to check to see if it had stopped beforehand. It hadn't. So I recorked and took the call. An hour later I uncorked again, kept bleeding. During that time it had slowed enough, that it wasn't running down the back of my throat anymore, so I assumed it was done. But it was just pressure keeping it from flowing. So, as it had been 3 hours at this point, a new record for me, I walked up to the urgent care a few blocks from my home. The drive gave me a topical anesthetic to dull the pain in my nostril, but it wasn't the cauterization part that really hurt, yet. The thing is, it's kind of a liquid chemical. And my head was tilted back so he could access my nostril. So at least some of that burning chemical flowed into my sinuses and down my throat. Hands down the second worst pain I've ever felt / was in my head walking home after that. I'm a migrainer, I've had a brain lesion that sent me to the hospital for 2 weeks and a surgery, stepped on nails, fallen on glass, intentionally branded myself. This was worse. It felt like someone stuck a wad of barbed and razor wire up into my nose and sinuses and then repeatedly hit me in the face with a blackjack. Plus my throat was raw and burned. I wish I had just been uncomfortable. Fuck that shit. / first worst was a fever of 100+, I don't recall exactly, born of a combination of sinus, throat, and ear infections. I could barely talk to the doctors when I went in, I mostly just wept. Today I fucked up by improving myself after a breakup. About 8 years ago, just before I went to university, my girlfriend at the time broke up with me. Reasons included, but were not limited to, my weight, my appearance, distance at different universities, blah blah blah. But very importantly, and I quote, "You've got the most annoying voice on the face of the planet." Being my first girlfriend, I was heartbroken. The good way. I decided to improve myself at university, the whole glow-up procedure. I was going to a different university from all my other friends anyways, might as well start new. I started working out, eating healthy, started doing more skin care. Ended up losing 60 pounds and getting a six-pack. I started looking up how to dress better. Out with baggy t-shirts that hide my moobs, in with the fitted jeans and collared shirts. Got contacts, started learning how to style my hair. Self-improvement classes, got some therapy, started being happier with myself. Started calling myself with my middle name instead. And very very important, I started practicing an Australian accent. Stupid me thought, hey, let's try and learn the sexiest accent out there. By no means do I look Australian. Heck, I'm third generation Chinese Canadian. But I got good. I studied it religiously. Hours of practice. It got to the point even Australian natives couldn't tell the difference. Problem was, I couldn't turn it off. Okay. It's a good accent. So now I look completely different, sound different, and even go by a different name. Top it off with me moving to another province for work. Now we start the FU. Fast forward to about 1 month ago when I started a new job. Boss is doing the rounds, introducing me to the team. He then introduces me to my cubicle mate / work buddy for orientation. It's my ex. And I start sweating bullets. This girl is triggering a massive flight response. I am terrified of her. I am ready to quit right there and then. And she doesn't recognize me at all. I obviously can't ignore her, so I try to play it chill. She starts asking me some generic get to know you questions. Where are you from? I love your accent. Where did you go to school? Etc. 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 I panic and I lie a lot. I grew up in Brisbane. No, Kamloops. My MBA at UBC. Oh yeah, totally miss Australia. I went there once during a layover. And it keeps going. Can't be that bad, right? Just one person that thinks I'm someone else. And then we have a team icebreaker. Introduce what you know about your buddy to the rest of the team. Of course, my ex then introduces me with what I just told her. And now, the entire team thinks I'm their resident Australian, and I'm now living a complete lie. On the plus side, the ex asked me out for dinner. Too long didn't read, improved myself to the point I look like a different person, lied in my introduction to my ex, now I'm living a lie, and I'm now an Australian. / on the plus side, the ex asked me out for dinner. That is not a plus side. It's a plus side for having a /r/pro revenge story in a couple months. I'm going to need a daily update on this drama. Thanks. Let me know if you need a random Aussie to back you up. I'll confirm everything you said and throw in a few stories about you, me, Jono and Davo back in the day. Show up wearing your old clothes and glasses, but keep the Aussie accent for extra fun. Put the weight back on too. Seems like a comedy movie to me. If it's true, I'm sorry for the mess you have right now, but thing is I can't get it to sound serious in my head. If it wasn't happening to me, I wouldn't believe it either. Today I fucked up by throwing a condom out my car window. So this happened about 5 years ago, but due to being new to Reddit, I've never shared the story before. Anyways, I recently had started dating this girl, and one night we decided to go for a drive, as my parents were home and we were both feeling frisky. We get to a good spot, and I pull over and we get in the back seat. When the deed is done, I need to dispose of the condom I just used, so I pull up to a dumpster just down to the street and fling the condom out the window into the dumpster. Given it was very dark outside, I didn't actually see the condom go into the dumpster, but I assumed I had made a perfect shot. Following morning, I had my mom bring my car in for maintenance, as the only appointment available was during the school day. About 10 minutes before the appointment started, I get multiple phone calls from my mom and decide to step out of class, as it might be an emergency. As soon as I answer the phone, my mom says what the fuck, which I knew was really bad, as she never swears. She tells me that when she got out to fill my tank up, she noticed a used condom stuck to the side of the car door. It turns out when I had thrown it out the window, it hooked around my finger and stuck to the side of my car door. My mom had driven my car all around town, and ran multiple errands with my used condom splattered on the car door. Still cringe thinking about it today. Too long didn't read, had sex in my car with my girlfriend and tried to throw my used condom out the window into a dumpster. Instead it hooked on my finger, sticking to the car door for my mom to discover the following morning. Your car got keyed? Nah, mine got condomed the other day. Shit's whack. People probably thought that she had a good morning. This reminds me of something similar that happened to me. Haha. I was 16. Single mom was at work, so my girlfriend was over. We were feeling frisky, but she said she was on her period, so I suggested we take a shower. She agrees, and we do the deed. Afterwards, we get out, and I notice the trash can in the bathroom doesn't have a bag in it. So instead of flushing down the toilet, which would have been my best bet, my dumbass went to get a grocery bag for the trash can, leaving the used condom draped over the sink. I get the bag, put it in the can, and leave the fucking condom on the sink. Fast forward a few hours, girlfriend leaves, I'm playing Silent Hill in my room, and mom gets home. Suddenly, I hear, "What the fuck?" from the bathroom, which scared me more than Silent Hill ever did, followed by, "Op, get out here now please." I walk out to the living room, and my mom is sitting on the couch. She says, "Go clean up your mess in the bathroom, then we need to talk." I have still not figured out what's wrong at this point. I walk to the bathroom, and there it is, staring at me. Shit. I throw it away, and leave the bathroom looking like a dog who pissed on the carpet and knows he's in trouble. I start, but my mom cuts me off. "Look, I know you'll do what you're gonna do, and I'm glad you're being safe. But I don't want to know, and I don't want to find that pointing to the bathroom ever again. And if you think I'm ever going to let you live this down, you're dead wrong." True to her word, I'm 31 now, and she still makes fun of me. Honestly, that seems easy as fuck to deny. Why the hell would I use a condom and throw it on my car, Mom? That said, I assume you gave it away, LMFAO.